The man watched his girlfriend attend an event with her ex-boyfriend. Though his heart ached with jealousy, he waited for her to voluntarily admit she had met the former lover. Yet she deliberately hid the fact that her ex wanted to rekindle their romance and pretended she had never crossed paths with him. Sherwoo and Jian confessed their feelings to each other and officially became a couple. On their first day together, Sherwoo picked Jian up for work. He bought 2 boxes of nourishing red ginseng for her, urging her to take good care of her health. Just as Jian teased him for being old-fashioned, he pulled out a carefully prepared bouquet to mark this meaningful day. On the commute to the office, Jian suggested keeping their relationship a secret. She feared colleagues would accuse Sherwoo of abusing his authority to favor her, and any achievements she earned would be dismissed as cheap gains from their romance. Sherwoo understood her worry, knowing one lie would demand countless more to cover it up, and agreed to act merely as superior and subordinate at work. As the workday began, they carried on as usual, handling all matters strictly professionally. Only the two of them sensed the subtle shift in the office air, brimming with a quiet, unspoken joy unique to their secret love. To avoid suspicion, Sherwoo skipped lunch with Jian and the other staff. Once the meal break ended, he led her to the show flat and quietly laced his fingers through hers, releasing the pent-up longing that had lingered all morning. Lost in the sweetness of the moment, they spotted another pair of co-workers sneaking a secret date in the same room. Jian was utterly surprised to learn the two were romantically involved. Sherwoo joked that if they were caught together, everyone would gossip about them just the same. They left the show flat one after another, putting on a blank, ordinary front back at the office, and only dared hold hands openly without restraint in the elevator after work. 4 days on end, they barely got to spend time together. Jian complained that dating a workaholic came with such loneliness. Sherwoo proposed a weekend date to ease their longing for each other. That weekend, they strolled hand in hand downtown, only to run straight into Jian's younger brother, who was also out shopping. Panicked, Jian crouched down and crept slowly toward the exit. Sherwoo found her flustered reaction amusing yet greeted her brother warmly and amicably. Leaving the boy utterly confused about his sudden kindness, they ducked into another shop, where the hit song by Chio Tian was playing non-stop. The track had skyrocketed the singer to fame overnight. Unwilling to let Chio Tian distract Jian, Sherwoo suggested moving to another store, but as they turned around, they bumped head-on into Xiaoya. She stared in shock, never imagining the two would end up as a couple. Jian briefly recounted how their romance had blossomed and begged Xiaoya to keep it strictly confidential. After shopping, Sherwoo invited Jian back to his place for dinner. Walking into his home as his girlfriend, Jian felt fully at ease. After the meal, she asked why he had left for the United States years ago. Sherwoo explained his cold, distant relationship with his father. They only met once a year, on the anniversary of his mother's passing. There had been nothing tying him down in the city until Jian came along and gave him a reason to stay willingly. Jian was delighted by his answer, glad he no longer drifted aimlessly like rootless duckweed. Overcome with affection, they shared a tender, heartfelt kiss, cherishing every blissful second together. Sherwoo planned to host an artificial intelligence exhibition in a month, inviting buyers from home and abroad to test the products. With time running short, he ordered every team member to fulfill their assigned duties to the fullest. The deputy president and his faction, eager to overthrow the company president, feared a successful exhibition would solidify the president's position. They ordered Manager KO to sabotage the event by any means necessary. Manager KO sought to win over Specialist Han, who had transferred from his department to join the exhibition project team. Specialist Han hesitated to betray his teammates at first, but old classmates mocked him for his lack of progress and stagnant promotion at a reunion. His resolve wavered completely. Desperate to get ahead in his career, he agreed to collude with Manager KO. Manager KO tasked him with growing close to Sherwoo to dig up his vulnerabilities and weaknesses. Spotting Sherwoo heading to the pantry, Specialist Han followed right behind to strike up small talk, startling Sherwoo and Jian, who had been secretly holding hands inside. Jian scrambled to gather items she dropped to hide their embarrassment, while Sherwoo pretended he had just finished making tea and walked out casually. After work that evening, Jian headed to a wedding rehearsal for her university friend, and Sherwoo, acting as a devoted boyfriend, drove her there. As soon as they arrived, she caught sight of Chio Tian walking into the venue ahead of them. Stepping into the rehearsal room, she realized her friend had also invited Chio Tian. Not wanting to dampen everyone's mood, she pushed through the awkwardness and joined the rehearsal. Once practice wrapped up, Chio Tian offered everyone a ride home in his brand new car. Jian tried to decline, but her friend forced her into the vehicle. After the other two classmates got off the car, Chio Tian told Jian that he had bought an apartment and raised a litter of kittens, saying his life was unfolding exactly as the two of them had once imagined. Jian felt genuinely happy for his achievements, yet she turned down his request to remain friends. To her, she could never chat casually and freely with him as a mere friend. Having made her stance clear, she could no longer stand being alone with him and asked him to stop the car so she could walk home. Just then, she received a call from Sherwoo. Her mind was in turmoil. If she told Sherwoo she had attended the rehearsal with Chiotian, he would probably grow jealous. If she lied against her true feelings, the guilt would weigh on her heart. After weighing both options, she simply let the call go unanswered. Unbeknownst to her, Sherwoo had known Chiotian would be there all along, and her failure to pick up only deepened his suspicions. They crossed paths at the office early the next morning. She wanted to explain what had happened the previous night, but Sherwoo was called away unexpectedly, robbing them of the chance to talk things through. A cross-departmental meeting regarding the exhibition was held. During the session, Ji-in and manager Choi clashed over conflicting proposals, each sticking firmly to their own viewpoints and exchanging sharp rebuttals. Just as Ji-in was about to counter manager Choi's latest objection, Sherwoo cut her off, instructing everyone to compile a finalized draft of the plan. Once the meeting adjourned, Sherwoo took the initiative to explain to Ji-in that endless bickering would only breed conflict, and they could discuss her ideas privately once the draft was set. Manager Choi also praised Ji-in, saying it marked great progress that she dared to voice opposing views in front of everyone, and expressed pleasure working alongside her. The more reasonable and magnanimous the two men acted, the more wrong Ji-in felt. From a professional standpoint, Sherwoo had acted correctly, yet as his girlfriend, she felt he had sided with another woman, leaving her feeling uneasy. Fortunately, after work, Sherwoo opened his arms to her from a distance, soothing her petty grievances and unhappiness. Sitting in the car, she laid bare her tangled emotions. She wanted Sherwoo to treat her fairly at work, yet also yearned for his exclusive, constant affection. Sherwoo opened his heart in return, confessing he had once been an emotionless work machine, but now she occupied his every thought, leaving him unmotivated to do anything without her. After pouring out their inner struggles, all their tension faded away. Ji-in invited Sherwoo back to her place for a late-night snack. While she headed to the kitchen to prepare food, Sherwoo spotted a text from Chiotian pop up on her phone, suggesting they spend relaxed time together before the wedding performance and agreeing to meet at tomorrow's rehearsal. Lingering unease and jealousy stirred in Sherwoo's heart once more. He asked Ji-in if she could drop out of the wedding performance, but she explained the bride was both her university classmate and closest friend, making it impossible to back out last minute. Ji-in hesitated over whether to mention Chiotian's presence at the rehearsal to Sherwoo, and decided to bring it up the next day after much wavering. Earlier that day, manager Choi had visited their department to see Sherwoo. Ji-in pressed him whether he had returned the manager's call, and upon learning he had, her mind wandered with ungrounded speculation, wondering how manager Choi had addressed him on the phone, formally as manager, or intimately as brother Sherwoo. Though both cared deeply and felt uneasy about these matters, they swallowed the words on the tip of their tongues in unison, silently twisting open beer cans to shift the subject. The beer suddenly foamed and splashed all over Sherwoo's clothes. He went to the bathroom to shower, leaving Ji-in waiting outside with a racing heart and flushed cheeks.